This is a presentation of the Badlands Media Network. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, on this Easter Monday morning. Today is April 10th, 2023, and this is episode 61 of the Rattler Gator Report. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope everybody had a good Easter. I had something of a solitary, contemplative Easter, and I was pleased to be able to have that. I did have a surprise on Friday. I've got an unexpected court date today at 11:30 in Green Cove. Hopefully, some finalization on the whole situation with my sister, but good gracious alive, who knows? So we will see. But I had I don't know. I came across I seem to recall some issue about Saudi Aramco. I don't know why it popped into my head over the weekend, but someone in the chat, I could not go back and find it, but I specifically remember it. And they were saying American companies have a majority stake in Saudi Aramco somehow. And it's like, okay, that doesn't sound right to me. And so what I'm hoping to do is work into the regular presentation of the show certain little overlays. And I hope I added one on, Saudi Aramco. Let me see. Yeah, and the background always bugs the heck out of me. And I guess I need to do that background before I put this thing up. But anyway, you see the listing there. As I suspected, the government of Saudi Arabia is the overwhelming lead shareholder of Saudi Aramco. There's no way in the world they were going to allow American companies to have some type majority stake in the product that they put out, and they are the leading element in the OPEC cartel. So, but it's one of those indications where people will put out fake information all the time, and we have to be very careful on what we ingest, what we consume. The mere fact that someone makes a claim and they seem authoritative or knowledgeable does not mean the information is accurate. That was always true, but it's never been more true than today, right? So let me touch base. But before I leave this, you see, it is interesting though, because look, we are when I say we, I'm talking about the United States of America and those elements within our nation. We are the largest market on earth by far, and we have the most commercial interests by far, with the biggest global reach by far. And so you do see some of these large American corporations that do have a share of Saudi Aramco. It's a minuscule share, but these people in the corporatist industrial complex like to have their fingers in stuff all over the globe. And this is a pretty good representation. Vanguard, BlackRock, Goldman Sachs, Fidelity, Charles Schwab, all in the top 10 of Saudi Aramco shareholders. So this is the world we live in. Okay, that is not what I wanted to do. I need to get rid of this overlay and come back and say hello to each of you. Good morning, Diana. You're still on me about those chemtrails, and somehow you got cut off on the diabetes thing. I'm not going to be, I'm a hard-headed boy, but I'm going to be attentive to the diabetes issue. I'm trying to do a little bit of research on A1C. Mine is high, and 10 is supposedly in the danger range. But I have seen some indication that A1C may not be as dispositive as, not necessarily as dispositive as it seems. So we'll see. Good morning, Joe, or 04. I did have a blessed Easter. Jason of TGA. Is that a Georgia thing? TGA. Good morning, Post News. Good morning, Dina. Well, one way or the other, the lawsuit thing is going to work its way out. I'm not too concerned about that. You're giving me a link in the chat, and you know how easy it is for me. Oh no, not the chemtrail stuff. Look, quit. I'm not going down that road. You have no sound. Okay. I took some berberine this morning, Diana, and berberine I'm adding to my regular mix as part of the modification. I'm hoping it is a substitute for metformin and does have some beneficial effect. There is a gentleman, a Florida boy, I think, who's going to interact with Badlands Media and set some product. I'm going to be checking some of that and add some of that product to my mix as well. Chia seeds for diabetes. I have some chia seeds here. I'm probably going to be adding it to some, yogurt, sour cream mix. I happen to like both of those. So that'll be a good and easy mix that hopefully it too has some effect in the next month or so before I do some basic test. Okay, where's my A1C now? T. Geller, what's really happening in the financial world? Today, I'm hoping to focus a little bit on General Flynn's lawsuit. And I want to do it by introducing an article that Margot Cleveland wrote back in late November 2020. If you aren't familiar with Margot Cleveland at The Federalist, I highly recommend you track her and read her. I have found her to be really good with her writing. Good morning, North Carolina JoJo Starbucks 31. Good morning, Vito. Yeah, I'm doing good, Miss Mumsy. I'm doing really good. Physically, I feel good. I have not dwelled on this in this program. I don't think I have anyway, but moving into this house, I've had tremendous roach issues, and that has affected me in my sleep. I've never had to deal with this kind of thing in my life. And the landlord has had some exterminator come out. It does seem to have had an effect. But the exterminator said, look, part of your problem is a German roach problem. That takes about a 3-month process, follow up to faithfully get rid of them. But, when you are awakened in the middle of the night and there's a damn roach crawling on your face, yeah, that's a problem. And that has happened more than once. So I feel good that there seems to be some improvement, and you got to keep on trucking. Just human and burning bright. I have to try and check out. I guess that was defected. I'll have to try and maybe when I drive to Green Cove today and drive back, I can catch up on that show. Yeah, yeah, Diana. I just have had so much going on, and it was exhausting in the extreme moving into this place. I kind of sort of was stuck, and it was like, okay, uh, I'm a guy. It's not going to drive me crazy. It's not going to run me out of here. But it was not good. Not good. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, let me see if I can the caulk gun, peppermint oil. You think that's gonna? And hey, I bought some stuff, and the exterminator saw some of the stuff I bought and said, "Hey, please don't use that. It's going to be counterproductive to what we're trying to do with the." And it's like, okay, is that? I don't know. Does that make sense to you? That's what they said. Baiting with avert. I'll keep that in mind. I'm going to give these people a shot, and we'll just see how the extermination goes. I'm traveling to Arizona shortly for our conference. I'll have them come back out just before I leave, and then we'll see what happens when I get back. But yeah, yeah. Okay, let me see if I can start off with Margot. I want to show you, yeah, this is how her article begins. Okay, and I want to try and walk through a reading of this article, I hope. Um, at least I'm going to try and start off with the reading. But I thought it was outstanding, and to me, it's so easy to forget so much of what has transpired. You know, you almost need some reminder from the then, here and now. You know, the way some of this was consumed at that time and the response to the outrageousness of it. And I thought her article did that. And so I said, I have to save this because it's a good reminder to me. As she said, Trump's Michael Flynn pardon is only the beginning of the justice this nation deserves. The corporate media has refused to tell Americans the truth. So I will. Here are 6 key aspects of the case that expose the Obama Biden administration's travesty of justice. Now, and the reason why I want to do a quick read through of this article is it plays into General Flynn's lawsuit that was filed last month. And I think they have a very good strategy that they are revealing. Team Trump, I'm talking about. And part of that strategy, it seems to me, is uh, there is a methodical Python like process they are engaging in that squeezes the freaking life out of these lawfare idiots. The game plan that they've employed, the way they've bastardized the legal process and lawyers all over this country, judges too. This is part of the rule of law that they are going to rely upon. Again, why it was important for Donald Trump to bend over backwards to get those judges on the federal bench. Because their process is going to bring the rule of law back. It's going to flow up through we the people because we put in place Donald Trump to do just that. And so he has a plan on how he's doing it, but it requires patience. And there is a marrying up of the drip, drip, drip process, political process, and the drip, drip, drip legal process. I've said to people over and over and over again, you can think whatever you like, you can be frustrated as much as you want. Complex prosecutions take time. if they're to be done properly and if they are going to lead to total victory. That's what I think Donald Trump has his eye on, total victory. And so you're going to have some soldiers who take some arrows, who play their role and play it well. And we see that all across the board with Team Trump, Michael Flynn being example number one. And he may very well have been the one who put this plan in place, at least was an integral part of putting this plan in place, because there's no way in hell he didn't know they wanted a piece of his ass. And just like they've gone after Donald Trump's family, they went after his family. And now this shanty Irish man wants a piece of their ass too. And I'm here for it. So let me maybe before I get started to reading, and it may be that this plays out over 2 days in terms of talking about this issue and his lawsuit, because I think it's important. And it's like, okay, how do you introduce evidence? Again, this is one of the questions that keeps repeating in our community. This is one of the ways you introduce evidence for a larger prosecution. You lead on your lawsuits with a Carter Page lawsuit, Donald Trump, RICO type lawsuit. Who cares if it gets thrown out by some dumbass judge? You do the appeal and you keep it relevant. And then here's Michael Flynn's lawsuit. There are other attacks and approaches, but these are all going to feed into one gigantic prosecution, a successful prosecution. So let me see. I think I want to try and take that off and try and do an ad. We first have our guy, Furman. Is that right? Yes. And that background is still, I got to fix that. I got to do something about it because it bugs me. But ladies and gentlemen, Badlands Media is proud to be partnered with our friends at Furman Power Equipment as the sponsor of our first event, the Great American Restoration Tour in Chandler, Arizona, coming right up April 20th through the 23rd. Get your in-person or virtual tickets at badlandsmedia.tv. Furman generators are portable, versatile, durable, dependable, and user-friendly. Furman Power Equipment will be there for you and to help you conquer anything life throws your way. Badlands Media is powered by Furman, and you should be too. For all your generator needs, go to FurmanPowerEquipment.com and use the discount code BADLANDS at checkout for 17% off. That's FurmanPowerEquipment.com and use discount code BADLANDS for 17% off at checkout. All right, and the next batter up, the next advertiser in this 2 block is our friend Kirk Elliott.
Silicon Valley Bank debacle demonstrated just how fragile our banking system can be. We don't know what the future holds, but history has shown us that physical gold and silver are a reliable store of value to protect your wealth. Don't let fear of the unknown paralyze you. Take the first step towards securing your financial future. Reach out to Kirk and his team at KirkElliottPhD.com/Badlands. That's KirkElliottPhD.com/Badlands.
Yeah, Kirk Elliott, as we still remember, there's so much going on in the financial world, so much with your investments, so much uncertainty, so much risk. Get a consult. If you don't have a battle plan, metals, if you're interested in that part, Kirk Elliott is your guy to lay out the risk factors, where you are on that, and how you can best address your portfolio needs. Okay, yeah, the roach, I see all of, yeah. I really debated saying anything about this at all, but now that it looks like things are getting under control, uh, yeah, I'm pleased to have made some progress there. But the big palmetto, the big roaches, they don't bother me. Um, eh, I don't know how to put this, how to say this. They are, like in my Tallahassee house, they would get in the attic, and there was one place in the house where they would typically show up and go to die, it seemed. I mean, they just never were crawling around and, and I saw them. But these suckers, oh my goodness, just scrambling everywhere. I opened up, let me not I should have known, but I needed a place with a two-car garage that was going to be able to be storage. And I didn't want to go through any kind of a damn process where you have to pay $75 for them to have the luxury to say, hey, yay or nay. No, I don't know what the hell has happened in our country and all of that crap, but I refuse to go through that process. And so I found these people through a Gator friend, and it solved my problem, my immediate problem. Hey, got to deal with some roaches. Yeah, okay, no problem. Relatively speaking, I just didn't expect all of this. And when I was looking at the place, the landlord's daughter is a student at UF, and they're teaching her the game, the real estate game, and she was the one showing me the place and all this other kind of stuff. And she opened up the dishwasher, and roaches scrambled at. Oh my goodness, what the hell? And so I insisted, okay, you got to get rid of this dishwasher. Something must be wrong. I don't know what the hell is going on. I've never seen roaches in a dishwasher before. So um, they came, we talked some stuff through. Um, the dishwasher is still here. They had agreed to replace it, and just they showed a little bit of good faith on this extermination stuff, and they said they had just purchased the dishwasher. I checked it out. It looks to be no more than 5, 6 years old. Okay, I'll try and work with you, but things have improved, like I said. One of the problems is I'm in the Northwood section of Gainesville, a very good part of town, and but I'm close to 34th Street. That's a major street, and there's some convenience stores nearby, and I think that's the problem. My house is close to where those stores are, and convenience stores and their dumpsters and all of that crap. I think that's the problem in terms of why they're. I don't know. Yeah, the landlord disappointed me. They're in Ocala. I think they meant well. I just don't know that they. I don't know. I don't know. I'm. I started to never mention this because I knew the conversation in chat would grab my interest, and it might just be, hey, we're having a discussion all show about roaches, but the Malaysian Epstein lawsuit will also expose banks and their client list. Yeah, yeah, this is another part of the return of law and order. Some of these lawsuits, the eurythmic, thank you. The Virgin Islands situation, um, there are aspects, I think, with what is that, Myanmar? There's just a lot of stuff going on. And, these corporatist industrial complex people have worked their game. The invisible enemy is on the case, and this is going to expose them all. Slowly but surely, methodically, it's going to expose them all. Canadian IRS issue? Canada's just so, I don't, weird to me. So, to be so similar, but yet so different. Um, yeah. Let me see if I can walk through, if y'all don't mind, because the show is going to get away from me. I know that. Y'all know that. So, hey, it's the Monday after, and I did set this thing up. So let me see if I can show you how I'm hoping to weave some of this stuff into the regular conduct of the show. Man, don't get me pissed off. Where's my 01? You know, I'm looking at these overlays and I numbered them, and I'm looking at the software. Y'all hover processing because I may have to add an overlay. I hope I didn't forget. But it's always possible when you're dealing with me. This is the overlay. All right. God, I hate that. I have to do something about that. This image. I wonder, why does it do that? And it won't. Oh, you know what? Maybe this is my problem. No, it won't change. I'm trying to get rid of that background, and I guess I'm going to have to ask some of these young people more knowledgeable than me. But you see the headline: Special counsel threatened Flynn's son to extract a guilty plea. Now, y'all know how outrageous that is. But let me read to you what Margot said. When President Trump announced he was pardoning Flynn, the media took refuge in Flynn's prior guilty plea to continue branding Flynn a criminal. Y'all remember this. Like hyenas, these people. Yes, Flynn pleaded guilty to lying to the FBI about his conversation with the Russian ambassador. When Judge Emmett Sullivan took over the case after Flynn pled guilty, Flynn stood by that plea when Sullivan questioned him. But pleading guilty to a crime you didn't commit isn't a crime, and the evidence the special counsel's office buried has established that is exactly what Flynn did. He pled guilty to lying to the FBI in violation of Section 1001 while innocent of the charge. Lying to the FBI constitutes a crime under Section 1001 only if the person making the statement knows the statement is false and the false statement concerns a material fact. Although in pleading guilty, Flynn stated he knew his January 24, 2019 statements to agents Peter Strzok and Joe Pinka about his conversation with the Russian ambassador were false. In moving to withdraw his guilty plea, Flynn maintained his innocence and professed that he did not lie to them and believed I was, and quote, believed I was honest with them to the best of my recollection at the time. An uninformed public is likely to discount such a recantation, especially when the press continues to push the Flynn twice pled guilty narrative and ignores the since revealed details explaining why Flynn would plead guilty to a crime he did not commit. As Flynn tells it, the week before he pled guilty, his attorneys at that time, Robert Kellner and Stephen Anthony, and we should make a note about those two names going forward, told Flynn that if he did not plead guilty, his son, Michael G. Flynn, quote, could or would face indictment. Also, on November 30, 2017, the day before he pled guilty, Flynn's former lawyers assured him that if he accepted the plea, his son Michael would be left in peace. Flynn's former attorneys later reminded him of the threat to his son shortly before he appeared for the first time before Judge Sullivan. Quote, "Stay on the path," his former attorneys counseled Flynn, because otherwise the government would, quote, "drag Flynn's son back into the crosshairs." Margot continues, "The public need not take Flynn's word about the threats to target his son. Emails from his lawyers confirm these facts. Quote, we have a lawyer's unofficial understanding that they are unlikely to charge Junior in light of the cooperation agreement," one email read. A second email likewise corroborated Flynn's claim, while also suggesting prosecutors were intentionally hiding the Flynn Jr. deal to avoid, quote, "having to reveal it to other defendants against whom Flynn Sr. might testify." Disclosing such impeachment testimony is constitutionally mandated by the Giglio court decision. Quote, "The government took pains not to give a promise to defendant Flynn regarding Michael Jr. so as to limit how much of a benefit it would have to disclose as part of its Giglio disclosures to any defendant against whom Michael T. Flynn may one day testify," Flynn's former attorney explained in another email. That the special counsel's office used threats to prosecute Flynn's son to extract a guilty plea from his father is also evident from the prosecution's behavior after Flynn fired his Covington and Burling attorneys and hired Sidney Powell. In a heated exchange between Powell and the lead prosecutor on the Flynn case, Brandon Van Grack, Powell, quote, "informed Van Grack that Flynn would not testify that he had knowingly filed false Foreign Agent Registration Act statements in the government's criminal case against Flynn's former business partner." Prosecutors added Flynn Jr. as a last-minute witness in that criminal case. But after adding Flynn Jr. to the witness list, the prosecutors never called him to testify, quote, suggesting it was a scare tactic to get Dad back in line. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you this nonsense pissed me the hell off, it's just difficult to overstate how much that crap pissed me the hell off. And what decent American was not bent out of shape by that crap? Even reading it now, again, oh my goodness. Let me get back to the chat and see if we're still talking about roaches. Wait till you get into spiders. Yeah, spiders don't really bug me. I imagine if they were crawling on my face and waking me up at night, okay, they might. But really, roaches don't really bug me. It's just when they're around all over the place. My goodness. No, I can't. I can't. Postmates, you owe $3,500 this year. Hey, file an extension. I may wind up filing an extension this year. It'll give you some more time to see what the heck is going to happen over the next few months. I mean, especially if you're in a position where you technically owe some money. Yeah. Yeah, I've got to. I don't know why when I post these things, the damn thing, there has to be a simple way. And it's messing with my preferred presentation with these overlays. It just looks weird to me, and I've spent some good money on some Adobe Creative products to be able to change image sizes, and so it should be full screen, you know. And I keep running into this problem, and I think I probably need to overdose one day. I had planned on overdosing over the weekend in amidst my solitary contemplative Easter day Easter Sunday reflections, resurrection and all that. But then I got notice of this court hearing, to finalize this lawsuit. I was like, okay, what is this girl doing? And what might she do given some of the craziness that's already occurred? And so that kind of had my attention this weekend. Um, oh, you already filed. Oh my goodness. Yeah, taxes. That's another. The tax situation is another something that I think is about to be squarely addressed. I almost think all of these agents that the IRS was authorized to hire is part of a script to say to normies, you better start paying attention to what the hell is going on. Leviathan is coming for you. And when you tell the people the IRS has hired all of these agents and now they know they are far more likely to be audited, yeah, people get a little upset, and they should. Um, Same thing with Ukraine. There's something in my mind really weird going on with um, the money that's supposedly going to Ukraine in this war effort and all of this stuff. I'm watching Real America's Voice in the background, and they're talking about this transgender foolishness. Sage Steele, if you're not a sports fan, is a biracial, a black woman, biracial heritage sportscaster at ESPN, also conservative. And she's one of the few people at ESPN that has stood up and called bullshit. I've said before on here, white people need to start calling bullshit on bullshit. Um, and biracial Americans, especially when you're talking about a black and white situation, really in a unique position, really tough position, and people respond to that toughness differently. Sage Steele has responded to it in a sterling way, but many people, like Colin Kaepernick, respond in atrociously bad ways. What he has done, what Colin Kaepernick has done to the people who gave him a good home and raised him properly. Oh man, I just want to beat that guy's ass. What the hell are you doing, you ungrateful bastard? But this is what they've done. This is what they've confused people so much. I'm getting off on a tangent, I know, um, but it's just part of the craziness we have to get a handle on in this country. And this corporatist industrial complex has incentives through the ESG nonsense that parrots the environment's race for control. Really, that's all ESG is. It's about dictating to us in a fashion that allows something to be accomplished that could not have been accomplished otherwise. That's why corporations are now parroting some dumbass guy who thinks he's a woman, looks ridiculous, and they're putting him in advertisements because you need some ESG social credit score. The hell that social credit score? And what we have to understand is, really, we have the power to just say, you know what, you go down that road, we'll be done with you. Collapse your whole freaking business if you're stupid enough to go down that road. And so it appears like it's going to have to come to that because they keep going down this dumbass road. I just, who in the hell is stupid enough to put a man in women's clothing advertising women's clothing? Oh, man. And, for years now, we've certainly noticed the push in advertising, very clear. You get these gay, I mean, I'm watching advertisements now sometimes like, okay, are they in this ad showing me some gay couple? And it's like this is just you're normalizing this stuff as a selling point. And yeah, that's what they've done. It's something different to sign off on consenting adults doing what they want, living how they want to live. It's another thing when you're pushing this in the media, and that's what they've done. They've really started pushing this non-freaking stop, and it's like, okay, we gotta push back. Um, I never did read for you, maybe this week, the First Things article about gay marriage being the first little cancel culture major initiative in this country. I thought it was a good point. I still think it's a good point. Um, this kind of does tie into General Flynn's lawsuit. I noticed over the weekend he took Barack Obama to task, basically saying, "Hey, we're tired of your bullshit," and we are. And that Shanty Irish man. This is what I really love about him. One of nine, so I feel a certain kinship with him, given that I'm one of six. But big families have certain, you know, abilities to call bullshit on bullshit to me. Um, and because our families have shrunk in size so much, it's far easier now for these people to pull this nonsense, and people just aren't able to call bullshit on bullshit. So there we are. There we are. But I I knew today was gonna, because I'm still thinking about this court case and what kind of foolishness I may run into today. Hopefully nothing. Hopefully it's just dot the I, cross the T, done. But you just never know. Vito, your theory is when the dollar crashes, the debt will be worthless. How could they collect on something that no longer has value? Well, my theory is effectively there's going to be something of a jubilee situation for nation states and their debt, and for those of us, consumer debt, um, because it's going to have to be a bankruptcy type situation, and those debts are extinguished. I could be wrong. Yeah, Eurythmic. I know that argument. Companies get more money if they comply with ESG than what they lose in business. I don't believe that. I believe that's what's been sold, but that's only true if there's a compliant public that accepts the bullshit. The minute the public stops accepting the bullshit, that ESG nonsense goes away. Who gives a damn about their score? Who gives a damn? They look again. My whole thing in part about Ron DeSantis being the best governor in the nation. Um, Florida like pulled the pension fund money out of one of these people because of this ESG stupidity. Every state needs to do that. These institutional investors need to pull their damn money out of any fund pulling those kind of stunts. We, the people, need to be demanding of our state government pull the damn money out. Pull the damn money out. That's what we need to be doing. Yeah, they've trained these kids to think it's innovative and cool. It's just so incredibly stupid. When I saw that boy bouncing his happy ass around in women's clothing, oh man, did I want to beat some ass. Oh man. Yeah, these collection agencies, again, they outsource. They outsource this stuff. And then look, my health condition, I'm in situations now where I go to a doctor. You have this high level of insurance. I've got Florida Blue, and there's a certain rate that they're going to cover, and then you get this, and this is what you have to cover. And then 2 months later, and I'm bad about sending me all this damn mail. It's like, okay, I'm just bad about reading that crap. But they've modified the charge, and so now you're responsible for a good portion more of the money, and then all of a sudden you're getting something from some freaking collection agency. It's like, this is a game, and I do not like games being played with me. I just don't respond well to that. Most bankers have no clue. Look, these are normal people, bankers, everybody else. They're just living their life the way they know how, the way they've been trained. And this is why we have to roll with this drip, drip, drip. This is why we have to be patient and maintain with these competent professionals. We have a nation full of people who just want to live their life, and they don't know all of the craziness that's going on. We didn't know, most of us, all of the craziness that's going on. So have a certain amount of sympathy and patience. Check the block time, JB. Let me get my other two advertisers in. Y'all forgive me for my tardiness. Oh, I got a new one. That's right. I have to show you. Where did I put it? Please tell me I loaded it. Maybe I didn't. There it is. All right. Did you know, ladies and gentlemen, that when you go to the mypillow.com website, click on the radio/podcast square, your world will open up to tons of amazing specials My Pillow is offering to our Badlands community. And on top of that, you save up to 80% on everything there with the promo code Badlands. Yes, you'll find the buy one, get one special for the incredible My Pillow 2.0. But right now, Mike is giving us deals on his bathrobe closeout sale. And let me modify, because I think they changed my script. No, yeah. Mike is giving us on the incredible MyPillow 2.0, but right now Mike is giving us deals on his bathrobe closeout sale. His buy one get one free. His Giza sheet set. My slippers for as low as $49.98 and 40% off mattress toppers and the MyPillow down blankets. Be sure to use the promo code Badlands to get your discount at mypillow.com. That's mypillow.com. Promo code Badlands. Yeah. And number 2 on the block, our friends, Benson Honey.
Benson Honey Farms delivers raw honey straight from the hive to your table. It is their mission to provide you the best raw honey at the lowest prices possible. By not pasteurizing, overheating, or filtering their honey, Benson Honey Farms ensures that all of its natural pollen and enzymes stay in the honey for maximum health benefits. So cut out the middleman and go straight to the source. Visit BensonHoneyFarms.com and use the rep code Badlands to place your order today. That's BensonHoneyFarms.com, rep code Badlands.
I love the way Brad reads that ad. And, Paul, my co host on Sports Talk, has done some ads too. I'm going to have to get some of those from him and splice them into the show as well, because he does a good job too. Talented guy. Let me go, and I think I'm just going to give you tomorrow. I want to walk through the actual lawsuit, because I think they did a fantastic job in terms of how they wrote this, then the narrative and how it fits within everything else. It's just inescapable the way they've laid this out. It's an inescapable conclusion and will certainly lead to a conviction. But for me, the bigger point is that it just feeds into that bigger prosecution we're all waiting for. So let me just give you the other headings that Margot walked through. Number 2 was special counsel threats against Flynn's son were improper. Yes, we know that. She walked through some of the stuff. It's just outrageous. Unbelievably outrageous what they were comfortable doing. And using lawyers, the man's defense attorneys, using them to facilitate all of this craziness. Wow, that is bold. That is bold as hell. This Van Grack guy, wow. Some of these people really need serious punishment. But, again, General Flynn knew this going in. He knew this. Number 3 in her article, Flynn's guilty plea was invalid. Yes, it was. Number 4, Flynn did not lie to the FBI agents, and they knew it. Yes, and his lawsuit is painting that in vivid colors. Number 5. Oh, goodness, where am I? This article is longer than I thought. 5, as a matter of law, Flynn is also an innocent man. No doubt about that. And I just wonder about people like Margot, how much she's been involved in the legal process. What do normal lawyers, practicing attorneys who have been involved essentially in all of the establishment stuff, what do they think about this? What do they feel about this? Are they not embarrassed and shamed that the profession has perhaps been the leading profession in all of this craziness? They have effectuated all of this craziness. Had lawyers done their job, none of this crap would have happened. It's just, I shake my head And her closing little point, of course, is Flynn was a tool to get Donald Trump. Everything they did against Michael Flynn was about getting Donald Trump. That is true. That is so incredibly true. Shamefully true. But again, tomorrow, I'm going to, I hope, again, events of today might change some of this stuff. Hopefully, it won't throw me for such a curveball. But that's my intention, to focus, a good bit more on this Michael Flynn lawsuit. I did let you know about the Saudi Aramco. This was part of my goal today. Yeah, that is what I wanted to accomplish. I got to figure out, come hell or high water, how to present these images so that I can weave it into the show and I don't have my background halfway shown and it just looks crazy. I ordinarily don't worry about a professional look, but that's something different that just can't be, and it has to be simple. It has to be simple. And I don't want to say I'm at a loss. I'm frustrated with how much it has escaped me. Yeah, thank you for the good luck wishes, Miss Mumsy. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for the donation. I'm a lucky man. I remind myself of this. All in all, given everything that has happened, that was part of my contemplation this weekend, thinking about the bigger picture, and of course, the resurrection does remind us of the bigger picture and the efforts taken to save us from ourselves. I tried to tweet actually about that. General Flynn put out a beautiful little song, two girls singing this hallelujah. It was magnificent. But yeah, one of the lines in there, to save us from ourselves. That is a large part of this, isn't it? Even what we are now endeavoring to do in terms of our support for Team Trump is a part of trying to save us from ourselves, the way I look at it. Wow. Your brother-in-law was on the board of Silvergate, Eurythmic, and claims he had no clue about the whole FTX thing. FTX, that's another thing where maybe we're going to need to remind ourselves of some craziness. There's no way that kid or his entire crew were driving that train. His parents were driving that train in coordination with some other folks. Those kids weren't driving that train. They didn't know shit about shit. So, hmm. Wow, your satoshis are up today. I'm gonna have to check. I'm hoping we do get some good bullets. A real big rise. Um, yeah, no, Postmates. That's not what the. Yeah, all lawyers. Yeah, we have not acquitted ourselves well. The profession is in trouble, and I've said, you see all of these ads for personal injury lawyers, there's a real problem in our system. And I'm beginning to think the corporatist industrial complex has kind of sort of been working weirdly with these trial lawyers. But what I know for a fact the trial lawyer mentality, and I'm talking that arises out of criminal law, which is challenge the government to prove beyond a reasonable doubt X, Y, and Z. That's a good concept, a good history, and needed if we're going to be first sovereigns over and above the government. But the problem is we've taken that mindset, we've applied it into a civil law situation where it is not good, a personal injury situation where you can tell any kind of lie and you just keep coming after it, and you manufacture some nonsense, and then all of a sudden people want to settle rather than deal with the headache. Okay, this just leads to craziness that we see in part. That's my personal opinion. I've bled over in time, and I got to get prepared to get the hell out of here and go see what the heck is what. I thank y'all so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you in the remainder of the week where we can discuss a little bit more and try and bring a little bit more clarity to what is affecting us globally in this world, and as we try and support Team Trump in their efforts to bring sanity back to Earth. Okay. Later, Gators.